Hey gang, and welcome back to Movie Director Reacts, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually listening to a few Dreamcatcher songs. So you know this isn't something that we normally do on this channel, because we usually look at clips and videos and we break them down from a movie director's point of view with the shots and the angles and the shot selection. But this is Dreamcatcher, you know I love Dreamcatcher, so I thought we'd listen to the mini album together. Now I have to say that I just recently saw an interview with Dreamcatcher when they were asked what they wanted. Almost all of the members said that they wanted their first win. So if any of you guys out there know the process of how to get them their first win, the first one to leave a detailed response, I'll pin in the comments so everyone can see how they can help Dreamcatcher get their first win. Because they sure as heck deserve it. And I know there's a big controversy like they really should have gotten their first win already. I know that was a mess. In reality, I think we all know that they actually did get their first win, but it's not down on paper, so unfortunately it just doesn't count. I watch a lot of fights, like UFC fights, and there have been several cases where one fighter has literally been robbed. Like he has beaten the other fighter, but he loses still, and even though there's a big controversy as years pass, no one really remembers the controversy. They just look in the win-loss column, and even though that guy actually won, it still counts as a loss, and everyone forgets that he actually won it, so it really doesn't make any difference because it's still a loss. So whether Dreamcatcher was actually robbed or they legitimately lost, it really in the long run doesn't really matter because it just counts as a loss. So let's do them a favor and try to get them a win this time, shall we? As a little side note, I actually went out to try to purchase this album. I haven't bought an album in years, but I thought I'd just support them and actually purchase this. I was looking for a digital download like on iTunes or something like that, and I couldn't find one, which is very strange. So you guys let me know, is it you can only buy the physical copy, or are there actually no digital ways to download? Because I absolutely would have purchased one. I even left a comment on their Facebook page to ask them how I could purchase it. No one got back to me, so. And this is a note for the Dreamcatcher company or anybody in marketing. If you want people to buy your stuff, you should always put your links everywhere. Even if it's a physical copy, when they announce the album, they should immediately put purchase here so everyone can buy the stuff. Because the reality is that people are impulse buyers. And if I'm like, yeah, I want to buy this, ordinarily, if I can't find a way to buy it, I'm just going to forget in the long run. And then you can lose a lot of sales that way. So Dreamcatcher company, if you're watching this, make sure that every time that you make announcements or show new album stuff, that you put a link that somebody can buy your stuff somehow so they can just click it and go right to it. So it can be an impulse buy and it'll be done and over with, because you could lose a lot of sales if you don't do that. Okay, here we go, and action. It's got the rain and the thunder. A lot of reverb on that snare. I like that syncopated drums. Nice. So gang, do you remember when we talked about textural differences? Like I said that we really need to have, to make things interesting, you need to have textural differences in video. We talk mostly about video, like whether it's different colors or different color palettes, or one shots versus group shots, the fast cuts versus staying with one shot. There's a lot of textural differences that you want to have to create variety. One thing about Lees and Olunder, their stuff has a lot of textual differences, which makes it very interesting. Where they drop everything out, it's sort of like the short, small build and then drop everything out. Then there's probably gonna be another big build. So it's kind of like these waves of building up and down as it keeps on going up. Great. It's got that dirty, like almost trap horn sound. Yeah, awesome. It was so good. It's a really good intro. It's sort of like an introduction to the whole thing, but it really shows Lee's and Olander's style, which I really like. Again, very good with switching up textures, which makes it very interesting, which actually pretty is indicative of most of Dreamcatcher songs, which makes them really, really great. Very unique. These guys, I would really be interested to hear their background. Like, what is their music background? Did they go to music school? Do they have degrees? Do they play all the instruments themselves? What did they do before this? What kind of music did they listen to? These two guys, I'd really be curious about what their background is and how they came to write the stuff like this, because it's very unique and amazingly good. Here's the thing about intros, like, why even have an intro to an album at all? I mean, some albums used to sort of like as a concept and everything, which is really cool. I think not only is it really cool, but it also doubles in terms of adding extra tracks to the album. So when it's a mini album, you only have, how many songs are there? 4 songs? 4 songs? 3 songs? 4 songs? If you can have like an intro track and then maybe an outro track, it adds to the length of it so you feel like you're getting more tracks than you are. I'm not saying that that's specifically why they did it, but it's also kind of nice to do it that way so you kind of pad out the tracks a little bit with something a little extra. And these two guys happen to be really good at it, so great job. Let's check out the next one. So next on the mini album is Boca, but we actually already went through that. So if you have not seen that or are interested to see my reaction to that video, then actually you can go to the playlist or just go back a few videos and check that out. If this is your first time to this channel, we go through things through the point of view of a movie director. So we stop a lot and we break down whether it's scenes or shots and all kinds of things. So if you have not seen that video all the way through, go watch it first, all the way through, and then come back here and we'll actually break it down together. So moving on, there's actually this live version of Break the Wall Showcase. I think I linked it before. I've heard this song. I love this song. This is so good. It's one of my favorites by them. But let's check it out together, shall we? And action. This is a serious flex for them, just to stand there at mics and sing this song. No dancing, no nothing. It's amazing. And they did a really great job with the lights in the background. Speaking of that, let me just interject something here really quickly. Their company, I don't know if it's still Happy Face or if it's Dreamcatcher, or maybe Happy Face and Dreamcatcher is a subsidiary. Good freaking job. You guys are amazing. Your company, the company, Dreamcatcher or Happy Face, you deserve a lot of credit. In a world where if K-pop bands or just people in general, or products in general, or TV shows or movies, they don't hit right away, it's so easy to peel those off and leave those things behind, and it happens all the time. And I don't know if it's because you were so financially invested that you couldn't like just burn down the whole project, or you were just that, you believed this much in these girls and their concept, or actually not in the concept, but you changed the concept. That takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of guts to do that. You deserve so much credit. And then when you change their concept, they didn't hit right away, and it's really been a slow, organic build, but you've stuck with these girls. You've stuck with them, and you deserve so much credit. And I think there's an advantage to being in a small company. I mean, there's huge disadvantages. I think one of the advantages to being in a small company and being, I think, their only act, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you are their only act, if Dreamcatcher is the only act of this company, then that's all they focus on. Their resources aren't reallocated to other bands, or if they make money, aren't reallocated to other bands, you know, like Cube and CLC. But, you know, the thing is that all that stuff gets put back into Dreamcatcher, and so they keep them very active because it's their only band. It's the band that they're focusing on, which is a huge advantage. The disadvantage is obviously that they don't get the credibility and clout or the advantages of the bigger companies, which is a shame. But this company deserves a lot of credit. So if anyone out there from Happy Face / Dreamcatcher Company is watching, great job, you deserve a lot of credit. My phone is ringing right now, so I'm just gonna do... So anyways, let's get back to this. Just wanted to throw that in there. So these microphones or these megaphones, I think many people just said it, just adds a little bit of distortion. I'd probably turn it all the way down because it'd be really weird to have this be a megaphone and be really loud. It would throw off the whole microphone picking up the sound, because then when they sing into it without the microphone or the megaphone, they would have to readjust the sound, which they might have done. They might have had two settings, one for the megaphone, one without. It also might not actually be really on. It might just be for effect. But in the studio, to have that dirty sound is just a filter. I'm telling you guys, I told you before, I feel like they're giving Sua a lot more singing lines. I feel like they have really progressively let her sing a lot more, which is amazing. I think she's doing a great job because she's got a great voice, but I think in the past you didn't really realize it, but her range is amazing. Yoo-hyun's got, I think Yoo-hyun's got the best all-around voice. I mean, Xian is the main vocal and her vocal is amazing. Yoo-hyun's voice is a little different. It's not quite as high in her register or like forward in the mask. I'm talking singing terms, but Xian's voice is a little bit more forward in the mask, and Yoo-hyun's voice is a little bit set, a little bit lower, so she has a little bit more of a rounder sound. I think she's probably the best all-around vocalist, although I think Xian has the better notes and control. It's so tough. In any other group, Yoo-hyun would be the main vocalist. I love her tone. Xian's amazing. You just can't compete with her. It's a tough one. It's like these girls are hard to choose from. Yeah, jeez. Okay, I know I'm stopping this a lot. So one thing, remember we talked before about that whole video about what makes a good song and about having a very melodic melody line in the chorus that's more like strings as opposed to brass. This is a great example. Lee's in a Wonder, this is such a catchy hook, an amazing chorus. I love this song. I wish there had been a little bit more of a hook in like Scream and Boca. Like I wish they would have added a little bit more of this melody idea into those choruses as well. I think those would have jacked those up another level, but this is such an amazing song. Something else I want to mention really quickly is about singing technique. There's something called bel canto. Now I want you to listen to Xian's voice specifically. You're going to hear it ring a little bit. Let's go back a little. I want you to listen to it. You're going to hear it ring, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. To hear how it just, the sound of it, the way it's put, there's almost like it rings a little bit. So there's this form of singing back, and you're probably, you're going to hear a lot about music production from other music producers and stuff, but you're not probably going to hear a lot about this type of things from other people on YouTube, because this is specifically music degree people will know this stuff. So back in the old days, there was a type of singing called bel canto, which in Italian means beautiful singing. And it had to do with a lot of technique. There was several people who were examples of the bel canto singing. Maria Callas was one person who was the epitome or an example of bel canto singing. One of the examples of bel canto singing was when you hit this, this resonance, which is called the 4/40 formant. The 4/40 formant is this resonance, and when you sing, where the voice begins to ring. So you'll notice that when some people sing, that sometimes you hear it almost like a bell. It kind of rings when they sing. You can hear it with Xian constantly. Other people, there's different techniques where you kind of round it. It's a little more breathy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about not those specific, articulations, but generally when you sing, to actually hit this type of resonance where your voice actually rings. Now, Xian does this constantly. You're going to find in this song that all the girls have it. like when they're singing in the chorus, it's partly done because of, if you hear their effects on their voice, a production thing, all their voices are obviously doubled, and you're like, well, why do they sing twice of their voice, you know, in the studio? One is because when you sing, you have a melody line and you sing it once, and there's tiny imperfections in your voice, so you sing it twice to kind of cover up those imperfections, and it gives it a much stronger sound. And then if you do 3 or 4 or 5 layers of your vocals, the effect diminishes. It's sort of a law of diminishing returns, so usually you at least double it, maybe you triple it. Now, sometimes in the studio what they'll do is they'll take the same voice track and they'll just offset it a little bit. Because if you double the same voice track, it doesn't do anything, because you're just doubling the little not mistakes, but the little defects in the song, which you're trying to cover over, defects in the voice. So if you double it, you're doubling the defects and doubling the strong parts. So what you need, sometimes they'll do is they'll take the 2 tracks and maybe they'll offset them a little bit to smooth it over, but you got to be really careful when you do that, because what happens is it sounds very metallic and robotic. So if they can, they usually double or triple the voices, and you're going to hear that here. There's more than one voice. There's also an effect called, you can tell, is a chorus, which does sort of a similar, and there's a little bit of a flange, which is creating a little bit of that metallic sound along with the chorus. That is also kind of falsely creating sort of that ringing sound, but they can also do that in their own voice themselves. So there's the production end with the doubling of the voice, the flange and chorus, which is creating a little bit of the ringing, but there's also Xion all the time when she sings, she always has it. So keep on listening. Yeon's smile is so cute. It's so funny though, because I feel like this is a really serious song and she's smiling about it. I'm just like, why are you smiling? She can't help it. It's adorable. You hear Jiu's voice ring a little bit. This is from the production with the flange and the distortion and the chorus and the doubling. But Xian's voice always rings. She always hits that 4/40 format. Such a good chorus. And Yuhyun is such a performer, just that little, you know, when you saw her Sahara video when she was performing and she's doing that Sahara clapping thing, she's such a performer. Just naturally. Great switch up. Again, textural differences. Good job, Lisa Nolander. Telling you, Sua's voice. I want you guys to notice something, that of all these singers, Sua is the only one who took her mic off the stand. That she's taking it and as she's singing this chorus, she's getting into it and she's moving around. You can tell she's a dancer. Like, she really had a hard time keeping that mic on the stand. She really needed to take it off and be expressive with her body when she's singing. It's fascinating. Great voice coming on. Telling you, I told you before, they're trying to highlight her more. I was saying that like a while ago. It seems like they're pushing her more. And then freaking Xian's amazing freaking rock god voice. I wish they would have thrown some harmonies in here though. Her second time through, they all could have come in and built that up. Dang, yeah. One of my favorite songs by Dreamcatcher ever, Lisa Nolander. This is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant song. The girls are killing it. Their voices are killing it. This is an amazing song and it really showcases your talent. My girlfriends, they're the best. Okay, gang, next we are doing Can't Get You Out of My Mind. And again, I have to go on YouTube and find this. Sorry, Dreamcatcher Company. I would have definitely bought your album if I could find a way to buy it. So, let's check this out. I did the, what do you call it? The color code lyrics. Okay, and action. I saw these commentaries down the bottom. How did this guy put AdSense on this? It's so much more pop. And again, it's good melody. Right from the beginning, it's very hooky, it gets you. Man, all these girls, but specifically Yuhyun, she has such a great blend in her registers. So registers, you have your chest voice, you have your head voice, and for guys you have your falsetto, and girls you can have like a whistle tone, like, you know, Sui can get into her whistle tone. But Yuhyun has such a beautiful blend in her registers. Usually between your two registers, there's this break. I have a break in my registers. It's very annoying when I go from my head voice to my chest voice. Some people naturally don't have a break. You always try to blend over that break. Yuhyun has such a great mix. You can actually hear it in her voice, the mix between her head voice and her chest voice. Oh, for you guys who are new to the channel, I actually have my degree in music, which is why I'm talking about all this stuff.
Just tell me how I can get you out of my mind. Can't get you out of my mind. Just can't get you out of my mind.
So it's sort of an EDM drop.
Can't get you out of my mind.
It's a good summer song, huh? This reminds me a little of that Blackpink song, Don't Know What to Do Without You.
I can't get you out of my mind. It's getting too stronger. My feelings for you. I can't get you out of
So when you hear this now, after we talked about doubling the voices, when they're singing, can you hear more than one voice? Can you hear more than one take? Because it's pretty obvious when you hear it. It's very common, everyone does it, and it makes the voice just sound so much better. This one, there isn't though. Hers, there's just one voice. Wonder why they did that. Maybe to make it more personal. They didn't do it on this one either. So it seems like they're doubling on the choruses. It's a great song. Man, any of these girls would be the main singer in any other group.
Just tell me how I can get you out of my mind. Can't get you out of my mind. Just can't get you out of my mind.
Okay, before that drop, I want to mention something else really quickly. So my ex-girlfriend, I think I might have mentioned, in college, she was an opera major. She had perfect pitch and she played violin. It was just, she had sickening talent. Perfect pitch is when you can actually hum something like a note, and she actually knew what note that was. It was like, oh, that's an E flat, or oh, that's a G, or oh, that's a B flat. She just knew what the note is. It has a lot to do with colors of notes. For instance, like, I know I have perfect pitch, but I can hear certain keys. When I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's key of G, or that's the key of D minor, because every key and every note has a certain color to it, and then keys are combinations of colors which have an overall kind of feeling that they get. So for instance, when I write music, if I want something very tragic, I write it in C minor, because C minor sounds really tragic. You know, if I want something that has that minor sound but is a little bit more bright, I'll do an F sharp minor, because F sharp minor sounds a little bit more ethereal, not as tragic, but has that minor sound. I don't know if that's making sense. That's a little bit of a tangent. What I was trying to get to was that with Bridget, when she was singing, got her master's in opera performance, she had both a vocal teacher and a vocal coach. The vocal teacher was about the proper techniques, how to sing, how to hit the right notes, but the coach was about expression, how you express those notes. Because two people can sing the exact same notes, but you actually feel something from one person and actually don't feel something from someone else, because there's the emotion into it, the expression, the way that you actually articulate those specific notes. Because hitting notes and articulating and expressing notes are completely different, but you need to do both. You need to hit the note, and then you need to communicate and express the note. Dreamcatcher are amazing at expressing and articulating melodies and pitches. Like, you hear their singing, you feel something because they express something in their pitches and in their vocalization. Is this making sense? I'm sure you get it. There's a lot of groups that just sing the notes, you don't feel that much. They hit the notes and it sounds nice. But every single one of these girls, you feel something when they sing because it's their expression in the melody. It's a totally different thing. Beautiful. Yeah, great, amazing, completely different. And again, this is why I want to see what Lise and Lunder's background is see, like, because they have so many different influences and how they're so good at changing genres. Very, very good. And again, has a very good melody, very good hook, just really gets you involved in it. It's got a very good groove, you know, you feel that going there. Super good. This is also, this is a strong album. This is a really, really good song. I think, you know, my favorite songs from them, shoot, it's so hard to pick, but I love Sahara. I love Break the Wall. I love this song. I love What. Piri is one of my favorite songs of theirs. It's right up there. That might be my favorite, or it's close to my favorite. On the B-sides, I mean, in the Frozen, it was great. You have Silent Night was sick. I wish the first part of Silent Night, where they did sort of like, they kind of, with Silent Night, they started somewhere and they just went, kind of kept on progressing. I wish they would have kind of come back to the A side of the verse in Silent Night, because it was so strong. I wouldn't mind hearing that again as a second verse. Amazing. Red Sun, amazing. I really loved Xi'an's Paradise, that solo song. So good. She was so good. Yeah, so many good songs. Lise and Lunder, you guys are fantastic. Okay, next. Okay, gang, this is their last song. It's called Dear. Everyone says that Gio wrote this, which is probably means it's very sweet and nice. There's a concept in quantum physics, actually it's just physics, not quantum physics, called supersymmetry, which I actually did a video about if you're interested in doing nerdy stuff like that with me. I'm not going to go into it all because it's very interesting and it's a longer topic, but generally speaking, I apply that concept to human behavior. Basically, we do everything the same. Like, what we do shows our personality in all aspects, devoid of outside influences. So for instance, when I used to be a personal trainer, I could always tell the most successful people in life by the way they worked out. People who knuckled down, didn't cheat, were there every day, were ready to go. They never complained. They just pushed through until they couldn't do it anymore. Those people did that with everything in their life. The way they worked out is the way that they did everything. Handled their relationships, handled their finances, handled their job, their occupation. They were successful. Whereas people who weren't as successful in life, they also weren't as successful at working out. They would cheat on their diets. They would come in late. They'd complain a lot. They'd want to quit. Those people were like that in everything in life. So what I'm saying is that, like, small things show big things, show small things in people's lives, the idea of just human behavior. So with Jiu being so sweet and cute and girly, the thing about Jiu, she's so feminine. The song is probably going to really exude just femininity and just adorableness and cuteness. I can't see it going any other way. Action. Love that they're singing, sitting down. Gayen's starting again. I'm telling you, they're pushing her. I'm telling you for a while they've been pushing her. Some of y'all said it was because Dongi is gone, but I still think they're pushing her. So nice. They used an interesting piano sound. Instead of using a full grand sound that has that nice rich resonance, they chose an electric piano sound, which you kind of lose that real piano sound feel. It's interesting that they chose that, but I think maybe it fits the mood of this album a little bit better. Or the song. Because the timbre's a little bit higher. Nice. Shoot, I need to put on the subtitles. Nice. Nice lens flares. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Awesome. What they did there between Yuhyun and Shion is really interesting, is that a lot of times when you sing with somebody, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a choir or you've ever been in a band where you, like a rock band or any kind of band, where you harmonize with somebody. It's so funny when you actually look and you connect with that person, you guys are more in sync. I guess it's not funny, but there's really no reason it should be like that. I mean, there's no logical reason why you're gonna sing better if you look at each other, but I mean, there's a sort of a spiritual, emotional reason why. But completely happens. So they're staring at each other and they're connecting as they're singing those harmony parts. Makes perfect sense. It happens all the time. I don't know where Handong is going to fit in this. I don't know who they're going to take lines away from. It's going to be tough. You know, I've come in kind of late, sort of post Handong era, so I'm not really as used to seeing her as a lot of you guys are. Yeah, that was so good. All right, it's just what I expected out of GU. I expected something just sweet and girly and beautiful. It's exactly what it was. Just kind of fits her. She would be like, I don't know, like I feel like she would be the best friend in the world to you because she probably is just so adorable, sweet, and caring, just like she seems like. I feel like what she appears to be is actually what she is. Great album, super good, very different. I love the difference in styles, and I love how they are so good at any style. And I love the fact that they can just hard flex and just sing and be amazing like that. It's so awesome. So anyways, for Dreamcatchers, I was actually just going to do the Break the Wall, but I ended up doing the whole thing. So for Dreamcatchers Lose Myself mini album, guys, it was great. Go get it. Tell me how to get it. Tell me how to get the digital version, because I don't know. And also, don't forget, please, one of you guys, tell everybody else how we can help these girls get their first win. Whoever leaves the most detailed comment first, I'm going to pin it at the top so everyone can know how you can help these girls out to get what they rightfully deserve. So anyways, for me and my girlfriend's Dreamcatcher, guys, this is a wrap.